All right. Hey guys, Jeff Vita here with the Kung Fu Driving Podcast. I am here with Ranjeet S Marwa, director, writer, filmmaker, and we're here to talk about something that he's exciting that he's got in the works. But you may know him from some other projects like Exiled or Rupture. I know he did Rupture with a friend of the show, Mark Strange. Ranjeet, thank you so much for joining the Kung Fu Driving Podcast this morning.
Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Sorry I'm a little bit late, but
No,
nonetheless, so thanks again.
not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Ranjit, I know we got the contract to talk about, but before we get into that, tell me a little bit about yourself, about what got you into filmmaking to begin with.
I've been now, I think, as of September, October, just gone, is my 14th year making movies, man. Um, I started out making a whole bunch of short films, a few music videos here and there, a couple of commercials, two weddings. It's not really my thing, but actually, yeah, I fell into the feature film world, more specifically action and horror. Um, and now I'm here with, I think, overall movie number like 106 or something. But proper proper budgeted movies. This is the contract will be my fifth, hopefully budgeted movie.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, what was it about action movies specifically that drew you to them? Is that the genre that you want to stay in mostly, or do you want to branch out and do other things as well?
I'm doing everything else anyway. So is action for me is just another genre on the notch of my belt, so to speak. The thing is, a lot of my friends are all in the action cinema anyway. I mean, like all the stunt guys I know, the choreographers, the action directors, the stars, they're all action guys anyway. So, I mean, the lead actor of the contract is Nick Khan, who's an action actor, stunt director, choreographer, mixed martial artist, and knife master. So I've known him for about 10 years. Nick and I have produced 3 movies together, and Nick has been in 2 of them. Um, but like I said, when I initially started out, it was always into horror. Just I think when you starting out as a filmmaker, horror is generally the first genre that everyone gets into. Um, I cut my teeth on that one a lot. I learned a lot, learned my mistakes, learned what was good, what was bad, and then I kind of segued into action because of Nick. Like I said, Nick I've known for almost a decade. Love the dude to bits. And because of him, we were able to do Exile the Chosen Ones. Because of him, we did Rupture. Um, and then the other 2, there was one that he produced called Dig Me in a Grave, but he action directed that one, but it's not an action movie, it's a thriller. But he action directed the scenes in that one, and then Spring Lakes is another one that he wasn't involved in. But the first 3 he was definitely involved in a producing capacity, and also in a he had some input in the movies here and there. But his biggest role was in Exile Chosen Ones, Igor Dragovich, a Russian tank, a killing machine in that one. So but yeah, that's kind of how I got into action, and then through Nick I got introduced to people like Mark Strange. But then actually before we did Exiled, I started speaking with Sonny Pang. People might know him from Headshot or The Night Comes for Us. I started speaking to Timo Jahanto, who's the director of those 2 movies. Um, Zach Lee, who's in the Raid 2, Headshot, and Night Comes for Us as well. Oka Antara from the Raid 2. So I started speaking to all these guys, and then Sonny was like, well, why don't you come and meet me in Indonesia? He goes, I'm going to be out there next month. He goes, you come and see me. So on a whim, I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to fly out to Indonesia. It was a 17-hour flight, but I got there. And then Nick met us there the next day. And it was just amazing just being out there, just meeting all the guys. Like at that time, we spent like 6-7 years looking at these guys, just idolizing them from the Raid and the Night Comes for Us and stuff. And then we're there with them the next minute in Indonesia, looking at 5-star restaurants and drinking and eating. And it's just like, this is fucking whole other level of the film industry that I've never seen before. But it was amazing. And then because of them, we were able to do Exile the Chosen Ones. And then they flew out to the UK, and we shot some stuff in Indonesia. We did Exile Chosen Ones, and that kind of got the ball rolling for me in my career, so to speak. So I'm thankful to all of them guys, man. You know, they were there and they did the shit for me, man. And that got Rupture going, and then it's just been spitball after that, man. It's just so I'll always take my hat off to Sunny Pang, because that dude he's like my big brother. He's like my mentor. I took everything he said to me as Bible, and you know what? It's all served me well thus far.
That's a lot of great names to be working with, a lot of great collaborators. Obviously, they've had an influence on you. Tell me a little bit though about who your influences are in terms of filmmaking. Who were the names, the people, the films that got you interested in actually making films in the first place?
You can't answer that question, man. There's too many. But I think as of late, so Gareth Evans has always been the guy that I look up to for action cinema. I've been very fortunate to know the same people as him. We've spoken a lot. I've met him in person. Great dude. I was on the set. Well, I wasn't on the set, but I was there when they were doing his new movie Havoc with Tom Hardy, because they shot it about 2 hours away from me. And Sonny Pang is actually also in that movie. So I went to see Sonny whilst they were doing that movie, but I was there for 2 of the days. So Gareth Evans is one. Timo is definitely second one. Chemo, who's the other guy, Chemo Istanbul, the people might know them as the Mo brothers, Timo and Chemo. Um, them three. Fincher has always been an inspiration for me. David Fincher, he's especially, a lot of people are giving it shit, like I'm seeing online, but The Killer is an amazing movie. I really enjoyed his new Netflix movie. And then you've got, I think, in no disrespectful way, I think you've got your cliches as well, which is like your Tarantinos, your Rodriguez's, your Spielberg's. Um, but I think if we're talking about kind of art house independent filmmakers, well, Gareth is not classed as an independent filmmaker anymore, but especially when he started out, he was. But Gareth, Timo, Chemo, and I think Fincher are kind of my four top at this specific moment in time. Ask me next week, and it'll be like four or five other people.
All right, good enough. Let me ask you: are you Indian nationality?
I am Indian. I'm British Indian.
Okay, cool. Only because Indian action cinema is kind of like balls to the wall bonkers, right? Have you been influenced by any of that at all?
Absolutely not. For me, so for any Indian watching an Indian movie, it's like, what the fuck is this shit? But for anybody that's not Indian watching it, it's like, wow, this is amazing. But for me, I just can't do it, man. I mean, but the new one, RRR, that was pretty good, even though it was like super over the top. But that was pretty good. But to be honest, I don't really watch Indian movies because they copy all of the Hollywood movies. Um, there was one that I saw. They literally copied scene for scene, shot for shot of Old Boy, and I was like, and it was like, why? It's like you could have just redone Old Boy and just told it your way, but you didn't. You literally just copied the movie. uh, so I was like, yeah, Indians. Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I've made 3 Indian movies that went direct to TV, to cable TV. It was a great experience. Would I do it again? No, but um, they were my first gigs, making movies for TV. So the TV station paid me handsomely. I was like, at the time, was a struggling filmmaker, so I was like, fuck it, man, I'll do it. Like,
Well, of course.
if you give me freedom, I'll do it, man. But if you're gonna like stand over me and give me like 10 pages of notes, then I don't want to do it. And
All right.
thankfully, yeah, I haven't been in that position.
Well, that's a great segue into this next question then, because one of the things about the contract that you talk about with your Indiegogo campaign is that you don't want to be hamstrung by Hollywood restrictions or restrictions in the filmmaking world that you think are unnecessary for action films. So, talk to me about that. What is the philosophy behind getting the contract made this way?
So with the 4 films that I've done so far, which is Exile, The Chosen Ones, Rupture, Digging No Grave, and Spring Lakes, I've had multiple producers on them, and a lot of the producers are very forgiving, and they're very like they understand that. Look, we've invested into Ranjit because he has a set way of doing things, and his set way of doing things so far has proved successful. Um, so we're just gonna leave him to it. which is kind of the definition of an independent filmmaker, is someone that doesn't work within the studio guideline. Now, that's not all of the producers that I've worked with on the 4 movies. There have been one or two who have had notes to give me, and though having the notes are great, ultimately the decision doesn't lie in the producers. The decision should lay in the director's vision. And if the director wishes to take those notes on board, then great. And sometimes, they're absolutely needed. Because if you make a fucking shit movie, then yeah, the notes are gonna help you. But if you have full confidence in what you're doing and you know what your abilities are and how you can tell a story, you make great action cinema, horror cinema, whatever it may be, then sometimes the notes are a little bit irrelevant, because the notes that I've had so far have been just very generic. So I'm just like, why are you sending me notes if it's like you've invested into me personally, because hopefully I'm good at what I do. And and if I wasn't good, then yeah, of course I'll gladly accept 100 pages of notes, but I don't need them, because my 4 movies so far have been successful, and it's shown that because I'm good at what I do. I'm not saying I'm the best director in the world and I fucking know everything. Of course, I'm still learning. I'll always be learning as a filmmaker. But as an independent filmmaker, there's a reason I chose not to do certain projects, which I won't speak about, because I didn't want to work in the studio system. And I find it very freeing to be able to work how I'm working now, because I'm not given any limitations. And by you putting limitations on me, it's going to stop me from giving you the best possible results. And if you want good results, don't give me notes. If you want terrible results, then yeah, I'll adhere to all the notes that you give me, and then the rest is on you, whether the movie bombs or whether it makes good return on investment. And so far, not listening to you has resulted in good returns on investment. So for me, I'd rather trust in my ability as a storyteller, as a filmmaker, and listen to my gut instinct that tells me this is the right thing to do. And the right thing to do is not listen to 10 pages of notes and take them all on board. Yes, if you give me 10 points, of those 10 points, I'll read them all, and I'll probably listen to 2 or 3 of them, and I will make them changes that I think, yeah, you have a valid point here. But if the other notes are just very generic and not really serving the purpose of the reason why we started this movie, then I'm sorry, I'm just gonna not listen to you.
All right. Are you worried about that sounding arrogant at all? Or, you know,
Well, it's like hopefully I clarified in the beginning of what I said. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I have to have full confidence in myself as a filmmaker, because at the end of the day, the investors that I've worked with so far have invested into me, not the project, into me, because they trust my abilities. So I have to be good at what I do for somebody to trust me and hand me large sums of money. And if I don't have a slight level of arrogance about me, then I'm not going to survive in this industry. If I come across too fucking sugar coated and too very fairy like, then people are going to be like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. But if I have this, I'm not like this in everyday life, only when I'm working on movies. But if I come into a set with a slight level of, listen, guys, I need this, and this, and I need it now, then people will have more respect for me and get it done, rather than me coming in and looking like I'm some fucking bystander that just walked in on set that doesn't know that I'm not supposed to be here. So
yeah.
I have to have the look. I don't like using the word hierarchy, but you kind of, if I'm the director, then I have that hierarchy status. But that's not me saying that in an arrogant way or an egotistical way. I busted my ass for 14 years to get to that position.
Sure.
And I learned everything. I learned everybody's jobs when I was working on zero budgets. I learned everybody's jobs. I know what everyone's expected to do. I know what's required. And if I don't have that, and if I don't know what people's jobs are, then I can't tell people what to do. I can't say to a makeup artist that I need this, that, and the other if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But because I know what I'm talking about, I can have that confidence to say it. Maybe arrogance is being confused with confidence. Um, but like I said, and in my everyday life with the people around, with my loved ones, with my friends, I'm probably the most soft-spoken person, and I don't generally swear a lot when I'm with them. But when it comes to making movies and my confidence level with movies, because when I'm making movies, I'm a whole different level of person. It's a different Ranjit. But when it's outside of work, then I'm very much just like I could blend in with the trees. No one knows I'm there. But, but like I
Fair
said,
point.
you know, you have to be confident and you have to be good and you have to show people that you're the fucking captain of the ship and you can steer the fucking project in the right direction. Because if you don't, then the AD is going to take over your project, the DOP is going to take over your project, and you're going to be left standing there with your dick in your hand, not knowing what to do.
Absolutely fair point. Your vision is the vision that the fans are coming to see. So absolutely, I totally get you. Talk to me then about your vision for the contract. What is it about this film? What you're trying to do with this film that is going to separate it from what is out there right now?
Well, it's a good question, man. You know, like I had another interview about an hour and a half ago with another podcaster, and they kind of asked me the same thing, and I was like, well, the difference between this one and any other assassin contract killer type movie is the fact that one, it's based in the UK, and the UK has never really seen any contract killer type movies, not that I'm aware of anyway. And two, because the level of action that we have, only Nick Khan has this level of action from all of the hundreds and hundreds of action movies that I've seen. And he's very intense when he's in his zone. So for me, it was a simple case of let me write something that revolves around Nick and his strong points, and that is going to be centralized around his character and what his character goes through. But in the midst of doing that, I'm going to bring in other people around him to kind of oomph up the project a little bit more, so to speak. And those are people like Ron Smorenberg, Sylvia Simak, Sean Cronin, and there's someone else that I can't mention just yet. Uh, but you know, by surrounding with these other people, it will not only elevate his performance, but it elevate the whole movie in itself. Because from the characters that I put in, so the characters that Nick has played in my other two movies, Exiled and Rupture, people have loved his character, especially in Exiled, and I kind of wanted to capitalize on whatever fan base he has at the moment. You know, because he is a very strong character in his personal life, but that personal life translates also to the screen, and especially with Exiled, you know. And when I asked him about it, I go like, I wrote the character ego a certain way, but you portrayed it a certain way. How did you get to that point? He said, I was just being myself. So, okay, so you being yourself, I'll write this character for you, and then I'll let you just go be yourself. So the story kind of revolves around a contract killer who has an assignment to take out a target. But what ends up happening is when he gets to that place, he realizes that the target is actually him. So, and then he has like a whole bunch of hitmen that come after him, other contract killers that come after him. So he becomes the target. So the number one assassin becomes the number one target, essentially. Um, and I'd written the movie as a sort of Smoking Aces kind of homage thing where it's like you have 20 different characters that come into the movie and they're all just trying to kill one person. And I know uh, the director of Smoking Aces really well, and he was saying to me, "I'm glad you're taking inspiration, and I'm glad you're using it, but also just trying to be original." So I took that and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I don't want to like. I'm not trying to copy Smoking Aces here. I just kind of like something similar to Smoking Aces." But then his words kind of stuck in my head. So then I went back, rewrote it, fleshed it out a little bit more. I took out a bunch of characters and I redefined it as this standalone piece that has a bunch of inspirations behind it, as all films do. But for me, the contract is not like any other movie that I've written before. It's not like Exiled. It's not like Rupture. It's something else. Exiled is a dystopian piece, uh, almost like battle royale. Rupture was inspired by the video game Cyberpunk 2077. But then, like going into this one now, I didn't want to be like, yeah, it's a direct copy of this movie. So I just kind of wanted to make an amalgamation of all the movies that kind of inspired me, and Smoking Aces was one of them. And I was like, I want to just put my own fucking spin on it and just kind of make it not with 20 characters, rather make it with like 5 or 6 characters, make it a bit more story driven. Because I don't want to make the mistake of, overkilling it with too many characters and trying to tell too many backstories, because then you just lose the plot, and the fucking audience just is like, what are you talking about? I don't understand it. So I kind of took out a bunch of characters, focused on 5 or 6 characters, and just kind of made it a bit more realistic, so to speak. Not saying Smoking Aces can't be realistic. I'm sure that probably does happen somewhere in the world, but you know, I just didn't see that happening here with the people that we have and the resources that we have here. Because the only downside to the UK right now, and I can say this openly, and other people have said it, is the action cinema in the UK is still very behind. The only people doing it right now properly is Jude Poyer with Real Power Stunts, and he works, from what I've seen, exclusively with Gareth Evans, and that team, from my hat is all over the place, and from that team, is an unbreakable team. They work on everything together, and for you to try and get someone like Jude Poyer and his Real Power Stunt team onto an independent movie, I'm not saying he wouldn't do it, but he wouldn't be cheap either. So it's not something that we're in a position to pay for someone like that right now. So we work with what we have. That's the spirit of independent films. You work with what you have, and you make it work. And fortunately, because Nick Khan comes from a background of working with all of these guys, we have an element of making high octane, you know pure mayhem violence on screen, which a lot of people wanna see, and hopefully we portray that in the contract and with the people that we have on board with Ron and Silvio. So hopefully it's something that people enjoy.
Oh, definitely. The entertainment headquarters just posted a comment. I'm looking forward to the contract and I'm glad to support. So you clearly have supporters there already. Let me ask you about the cast. Nick Blade Khan,
Yeah.
Ron Smornberg, Silvio Simak, action guys, martial artists in their own rights. Silvio Simak was just at a show that I was hosting for some panels for over the weekend, the Urban Action Showcase. So I got to talk to him about a little bit about some of the stuff that he's working on, and he's a big supporter of the contract, and he's posting a lot of stuff on social media about that. So, talk to me about the cast. Besides Nick, obviously Nick has a whole Blade background behind him that is obviously got to translate well on screen. What about the other guys? What about them was attracted them to the project and drew you to pull them in and get them involved?
Well, Ron and Nick actually have a long history together. They worked in Thailand and they trained together back in whenever it was, I think 2010, 12 or something. So they've known each other for quite some time. So for me, it was simple that I bring in Ron. He's got a history with Nick. They work very well together on screen, and their styles go very well hand in hand together. Nick's style is kind of a mix of a lot of different styles. The Blade is his forte, but he's got a lot of like wrestling style, jiu-jitsu, eskrima. He's got a lot of great styles that he incorporates into his overall arc of action on screen. And with Ron, he's got his own set style that he has called Recharge. And when I was speaking with them both, they were like, our synchronization, there's nothing like it. It's not been seen before on screen. With Nick style and with the Recharge style, it's two styles that have not been seen together. So it'd be a very fresh take for the audiences, just like the way Silhouette was when the Raid came out. I'm not comparing us to the Raid, but it was a fresh style of action. And that's what I'm hoping to achieve with the contract with Nick and Ron, especially. With Silvio, I've known Silvio for many years. The first time I saw his beautiful face was in Unleashed with Jet Li. And I've known him since then. And then we kind of got to know each other on social media, and we started speaking. We was on the phone, messaging each other, talking about this, that, and the other. And I was like, dude, man, look, I'm doing a movie called The Contract. I want you in it. He was like, okay, cool, I'm in it. So So I've written all of these people very specific characters with specific traits and specific action styles, which I know are gonna translate very well to the screen. With Silvio, so giving him the role of a sniper, even though I know he's a great martial artist, I kind of want to take him out of something he's that he's not really done before. Because I know he's good at action. I'm not taking the action away from him, and he will have a lot of action in this. But I wanted to give him something more character driven and not just give him the same bullshit that he's always had done before. He comes in as a bruising figure and then he fucking dies. I was like, look, man, I'm gonna have you in the movie. I want you to be in the movie. Yeah, so I don't want to just need to come in fucking half an hour or half the day and fucking go home. So like, I want you in the movie. So I think he appreciated that. That I'm not giving him the cliche role. The same with Ron and a few of the other guys. So I think the amalgamation of people I have and the talent that I have around the project at the moment, I think they're gonna be very unique characters. I feel like as I've gotten older as well, my writing style has changed and the way I write stuff. And I think the contract is definitely one of those pieces that I feel very happy with, where it's at right now. So I think hopefully that translates to the screen, and hopefully people enjoy it, man. Because it's not just 90 minutes of mayhem like Exiled. It's there's more meaning behind it. There's more character arc. There's more backstories. There's reasons for characters to be doing the things that they are. Um, but just going back to Exile, just sorry, like I saw you laughing there. Going back to Exile, dude, that movie was just like, I just want to stick all these action guys in the movie and just have them fucking kill each other, right? That's literally what it was. And you know what? People fucking enjoyed it. People hated it, but yeah, look, it's what the fans wanted, and I'm glad I was able to deliver it, man.
All right, talking about the action. Obviously, this show likes to focus on the guys that put the action together, action directors, choreographers, stunt
Yeah.
coordinators, that kind of thing. The action that you're putting together for the contract, how involved are you in making sure it's the right stuff that gets on screen? Who do you have to choreograph? What kind of stuff is going to go into it to highlight the action and make it such a key piece of the film?
Well, yeah, I'm really happy that you actually asked that, because I think the stunt guys and coordinators and the fight guys, they don't fucking get no credit, man. I know something that the academy is pushing for sure. To be one of the categories. So I'm very grateful that at least it's in conversation. Um, but the guys that work their asses off, that bust their asses off for our entertainment, as fans and as audience members, I think they deserve a lot more recognition. So with our movie, especially now with the contract, because Nick is already involved with those guys, so he coordinates a lot of stuff. He designs a lot of the previses for a lot of the movies that he works on. I know he was just in Malta at the beginning of the year working on a movie called Intercept with Mei Ling and Michael Paré, with Daniel Zarrilli directing it. So I know that's gonna be a great movie. So he action directed and coordinated all of that movie. He did a lot of stuff for Exiled, a lot of stuff for Rupture. So like, I have full confidence and faith in him to design everything for the contract as well. But the added addition to him designing everything for the contract, he's got his boy Ron Smornberg with him, who he gels with easily. So for them guys to get the previses together, it's literally for them, because they work so fast, especially Nick. He works so fast. He can design stuff in like an hour, and it's like, whoa. And it's a whole level of different action that he designs. And I'm hoping that giving him a little bit more time, giving him, instead of an hour, give him like 3 weeks, he can design something that is a bit more fleshed out, something that is a bit more, okay, we need this because the camera angles are going to be here, because we need to set lighting up this way, so this is not going to work. What's going to sell better in terms of reactions? It gives them a bit more time rather than just kicking into adrenaline mode and being like, fuck, I need to design this in like 20 minutes. So I give the guys a bit more freedom in the choreography as well. Like, that's something that I've always done. I'm like, this is the scene. This is the one what want the action to start with, and this is what I want it to end with. In the middle is free reign, do whatever the fuck you want, but as long as it starts with this and ends with this, you can do whatever. And all the choreographers and action guys that I worked with, they're like, fuck, this is amazing. Like, we've never been given free reign before. So, so, and it's not only like that with the, the stunt guys and the fight guys. It's like that with the actors as well with me, man. Like, I don't ever like to be bossy with people. I tell you what it is that I want, and I just let you go and do it. And if I feel like there needs to be an adjustment made, then I'll make it with you, but it'll just be with you. And for me, I don't like to embarrass people on the set. So like, if it's with an actor, I'll be like, I like this, this worked, but can we just change this? And it'll be the same thing with the choreographers as well, and the directors. I'll be like, I want to change this because I just don't feel like it's selling enough. And because I do it privately and I do it with love and respect for the artists, whether it's actors, choreographers, fighters, because you come onto a set, yes, with a level of arrogance that you're the boss, but you come in with love as well, right? And when you come in as the boss, but you come in as a loving boss, then you're more receptive to people being like, okay, we'll listen, right? Because like I've heard horror stories, man, of directors just coming in and just being complete assholes, and that's definitely not me, and so I like to treat everybody on set and even offset with as much respect as possible, because end of the day, they've come to do this for me and my vision. So for me not to give that respect to them, to not even to know somebody's name. I know everybody's name on set. I know what the job is. So for me to not even know at least that much, I think is a big slap in the face. So I think, just going back to your original question, when it comes to the choreographers and the directors and the fight guys and the stunt guys, I give them exactly what they want. I'll spend as much money as they need for their safety, just to make sure that they're happy. And then I'll just give them a sandwich as a paycheck. No, that's a lie. That's a lie, guys. I'm joking. I'm joking. I pay my guys what they are owed, and if there's any little bit that's left over, it doesn't go into my pocket. It goes into the crew's pocket. I've always done that. I'm not a greedy person. On my 4 movies, I've always been the last one to take a paycheck. I'll make sure everyone else gets paid first, because they're here for my vision. I'm going to be here for another year, so I can get paid whenever, right? So, but I know the guys, this is what they do. They move from job to jobs, and the last thing you want to do is fuck somebody over or just be a greedy asshole and take somebody's money. So for me, I think having respect for everybody on set, no matter who it is, whether it's the production assistant, whether it's somebody driving the vehicle, you fucking have the same level of respect for everybody. And so everybody does their job properly and they're happy doing it.
Admirable, definitely admirable. Talk to me then about the set itself. You mentioned that you wanted to film this in the UK. How important is it for the UK to be the setting in this film, and what is it about where you're going to be shooting that is going to contribute to the story?
Dude, you got some good questions, man. So with the question, so what you just asked me, fucking this is a great question, man. So me and Nick, it always goes back to me and Nick. So me and Nick, I think we're a little bit lazy. We don't like to travel much, even though we travel a lot. But when it comes to shooting something at home, we like to just shoot at home. Home just being our city. So I think Birmingham was kind of, with the story, right? It worked well because we was like, look, Birmingham at this time of the year, and especially in the beginning of the year, is very moody, is very dark, is very just kind of like, it just feels dead. And like even right now, it's like it's chucking outside. So we were like, let's set a movie about a contract killer out in the city where it's not sunny, he's not happy. We're not making a romantic comedy. We're making a very horrible looking movie in terms of setting. So it's great. Let's just shoot it at home. So I think, and that's something that we've spoken about always. Exile was done the same way. Rupture was done the same way. The last 2 weren't, but those 2 definitely were. And then with we're gonna go back to doing action. We might as well just shoot it back at home. So that was kind of the reason for it. It's a very selfish reason, but again, it's because I know everybody here in the city. I'm able to pull in a lot of favors. I know, like, the councils know me very well, so they can pull in a lot of favors for me. There's a lot of film crew that I know here. If I was gonna shoot this anywhere else, I would be asking for a hell of a lot more on Indiegogo right now, but I'm not, because I'm shooting it at home. There's so many favors that I can do, and so many things that I can just kind of, like, I need this. Can you guys do this for me? I know you want $10,000 for a location, but can you do it for 4? And I know it works because I know places and I know people, and it's the same with Nick. So, and I think that's kind of also, the journey of an independent filmmaker. I'm not Warner Brothers coming in and be like, here's fucking 10 million for a location, right? I'm like, here's like $10 for a location, man. Can you do it? So, and because I know everybody here, I'm able to do that. I'm still able to make a very high level quality movie, but at a fraction of the price. And I think, like, I've turned down studio stuff before. I've been offered studio stuff before, but because it's not something that I'm comfortable with in terms of myself, I've respectfully declined it, and I've just chosen to do this way. Though it's a lot more work, I prefer doing the work, and I prefer putting in the hours rather than just sitting back and letting 20 PAs do it, right? Because then I don't feel like I'm involved. And I like to be involved because I like to know what's happening. I like to know what people's jobs are. I like to know where I'm making mistakes and how I can be better for everybody else around me. But again, I've just found it just from having meetings and being on set of major Hollywood studio productions. Anybody that's in a high position, unfortunately, it's the reality that they take their position for granted. And I'm not one to take mine for granted. I'm very privileged to be able to do what I'm doing. And so for me, I like to know everybody's jobs, everybody's names, and to make sure that everybody's happy around me first and foremost before I'm happy to say action and cut.
When you conceived the contract, did you think about it being more than just one movie? Have you thought maybe this is good enough to be a franchise? Are you thinking along those lines yet, or do you just want to get this movie made?
So for me, I always have like a 5-10 year plan. But with some movies, I just like to just be one and done. And I think the contract for me, as of right now, is a one and done. I have another movie which I'll speak about soon. It's called Neon Yakuza, which is a franchise movie, which is the absolute main focus. But there's a lot of work that needs to go into that one. So during periods of quietness and things are getting a bit stagnant, I like to just pull back and just be like, I'm gonna refresh and I'm just gonna do my own thing for a while. And the contract has been one that's been in the works for about a good year or so. Uh, and the kind of time came right now for it. So I just started writing it, started pitching ideas to Nick. We threw a few ideas at each other, and then it is what it is now. What we've come to, I've got everybody on board, and hopefully the campaign kicks off and we get the budget or close to the budget that we want, at least for me to at least get the important things done. Um, well, everything's important in the movie, but I'm just saying at least in terms of getting the main bulk of the movie done. If I don't hit my target, if I hit my target, then yeah, great. I'll go and make the movie as planned. But if I get like half of what I want, then it'll have to be, unfortunately, a case of I'll have to come back to it another time, which I don't want to. Uh, I'd rather, for the sake of the movie and for everybody involved, whether that's the actors, cast, crew, and even the backers, even the people that are going to be pledging to the project, I'd rather get the movie finished, have it in the can, and everybody can see what they've helped make, rather than me being like, I've shot half a movie, guys, and I'll see you in another 2 years when I raise the rest of the money, because that's ridiculous as well. I'll be like, shoot everything now, let's get it done. We shoot for 2-3 weeks, and then in like 4 or 5 months' time, guys, you can see what your contributions have done to help make this product happen, right? Because we can go and make a movie for free. Of course we can, right? But I can't have people work for free for 2-3 weeks. Right? It's like, and for me to take away somebody from their work, from their livelihood for 2-3 weeks, and for zero pay, and whether they could have been working on another movie making like $200 an hour, like I've just gone and said, come and work with me for free. So I think, a level of respect and a level of negotiation with them, at least gets them something. And like I said, I'm gonna be the absolute last person that takes anything. I'm not even taking anything from the budget of this movie. Like, if I get paid $100 at the end of it, cool, I'll take it. But on, like, for me, especially with the contract, I'm not. I personally, I'm not here for the money. My 4 movies have always been about the project first and everybody involved. And I think that's why on the last 4 movies, I think that's why people invested into me, because I said I don't care about the money. Like, yeah, of course I care about it, but I'm saying everybody needs to be paid first because they're here for me. I could have pulled in my next door neighbor to hold a camera, but I didn't. I pulled in a professional DOP who's worked on Netflix movies, so he needs to be paid. So, and if you want to make a YouTube film, we can do that, and then I can just go and shoot something. But if you want to see the movie on the big screen, if you want to see it on Netflix and Prime and Hulu and all these places, then we need to pay people. And that was the reason I kind of kept the budget low, because it's favors that I'm pulling in. Nobody's working for free, but I'm pulling in favors. Um, and I think making it the budget that we're making it on, I think everyone's happy with it. And if it means that at the end of the day someone's not happy with their wage, I'll more than happy go to the bank and take out my own personal money for them. Right? Just because that's how it is, man. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like for people to be like have no money. Working in the film industry is not easy, man. It's a fucking headache, and people don't get paid correctly. And I mean that was the reason for the SAG and the WGA strikes, because people were just not being paid correctly. But you can do that with friends and family, people who trust you. And if someone's not happy with something, man, come with me to the bank. I'll take out whatever you need and I'll give it to you. Right? But I think for what I'm asking for in terms of the overall amount of what I'm trying to raise, $115,000, on the grand level scheme of things, it's very small in comparison to what a movie actually costs to make.
Sure.
Um, and so I'm just hoping people will trust the process and trust that I've made 4 very good movies, and and they've seen my work and blah 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 blah, and they can help pledge towards the project and help you know you know have. I'm a struggling artist to make a film, right? Right, make this
Yeah.
movie, right? And no, but on a serious note, look, man, I'm just trying to make a great action movie. Um, for the fans, and people have been begging me for like the last 3 years to stick Nick as a lead, so I'm just like, okay, I'll stick him as a lead. Here's the movie, the contract. Let's go and make it, guys. But I'm only gonna make it, guys, because I'm not gonna ask the studio and the other investors for money, because they want to have the Tom Hardys of the world in their movie, and Tom Hardy doesn't know me, so he's not going to be in my movie. So let's go and make
Not
film.
yet. He doesn't know you yet, maybe, but
Yeah, he doesn't know me yet, but yeah, look, man, it's okay. Look, again, you whatever position you're in, I think you have to just be very fortunate and very privileged to be in that position. Whether it's a PA, man, look, I started as a PA, right? It's a shit job. Yeah, I agree to it, but I think you learn a lot being a PA. I've been a transport captain. I've driven around people everywhere. I fucking did, you name it. I've done everything on a set. I've jumped onto other people's films and I've learned everything. And I think whatever position you're in, you're gonna get paid for it. You're gonna have to take the rough with the smooth, but it's a process that you have to get to in order for you to be in the position that I'm very grateful to be in, which is, as Roman Reigns would say, the head of the table. And so, but again, that didn't come without 14 years of hard work, man. They say you need to put in 10,000 hours of work to be able to be a master of something. I think it's complete bullshit. I think you need to put in at least 200,000 hours to be a complete master of something. And for me, like I said, I put in 14 years of hard graft, dude. I neglected family and friends for years to be where I am, and I had to sacrifice a lot. to be here. I'm not trying to give you a sob story. I'm just trying to give you the reality of the life of an independent filmmaker trying to pursue their passion and their dream. Um, and that's just unfortunately one of the sacrifices that you have to make if you're serious about what you do, right? Otherwise, dude, I could have like spent the first 10 years making movies for YouTube. I could have just continued doing that, but I didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
No, and the passion is evident in the way that you speak. You're pouring your heart and soul into your projects, and that's clear. And the fans definitely appreciate that. So, with the contract, talk to me then about what you want the fans to take away from this film. What do you want them to feel when they leave that theater?
So I think the most important thing is for one, the fans to enjoy what they've seen, because the last thing you want to do is make a movie that you've had people invest into and it just ends up being a piece of shit, right? So I want to make sure that I've done a service to the fans first of all, and the people that have pledged and donated and contributed to the project, and that they're happy that, you know what, we invested like $10 into this project. It looked pretty good. I want them to at least say that. And then I think for the rest of the world, when they watch the movie, they'll be like, it's a unique piece. You know, there's actors in here that we know. Okay, there might not be like the super A-listers of the world. There might not be the Brad Pitts and whatever, but we know these people. We've seen them in movies before, and they just made another kick-ass movie. Great, congratulations, man. We look forward to the next one. And you know, that's all a filmmaker can really ask for is for someone to say, guys, well done. That was a fucking amazing movie. You did really well, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Right? Because like, I mean, I've had times where I've made my short movies before, and people have been like, "What the fuck? You spent a week doing this bullshit? It's like it looks crap." Right? So like, I don't want to be in that position by having to actually now spend people's money on a movie and have the same response. I want them to be at least be happy that they made a contribution to the project in whatever capacity it may be, whether it's just by sharing the link, whether it's by putting a 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, $100, whatever it is that you guys decide to put in. I'm very grateful for it. You know, like, I'm not asking people to break the bank. If you can spare $1, $5, $10, whatever it may be, you know, it's gonna help towards the overall goal of the campaign, right? And if people can help do that, I can guarantee you with full confidence and faith, saying to you that I'm gonna bust my ass trying to make the best possible movie that I can and get it onto the relevant platforms. And then at some point, I will have it on Blu-ray for people to have as well. There is a perk available for a Blu-ray if people want to have a Blu-ray, but it's only limited to 10. And if people want it, so you know, I just want people to be happy with what they contribute to. Like, I don't want them to just be like, oh, this fucking idiot made a, you know, you just made something on like an iPhone 5, right? So
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem with you. But that link is has been scrolling underneath our conversation. So go to the Indiegogo and contribute if you want to be part of the contract. Talk to me a little bit about the perks that are available, because there's some great stuff that you offer for people that support the Indiegogo. So can you go through a few of them? I know one of them, you get to be killed by the lead guy in the film, right?
yeah, so I had to really think about the perks, and then I had the perks and were really shit until my wife came in and she was like, "No, we need to do this, 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 and this because people are gonna enjoy doing this." I was like, "Okay, thank you." The women always save the day, so I was like, so the missus came in and she was like, "Look, we need this, this, and this, so just get it done." I was like, "Okay." So one of the perks is, yes, you get to be in the movie as one of the mercenaries. Comes in, has some dialogue, and gets fucking annihilated by Nick Khan. Then you've got some other stuff as well. You know, you can have a voiceover in the movie by being one of the assassins on the phone. You can have your picture as one of the targets in the phone. You can come to the set, visit the set for a day, hang out with us all. All the food and drink is on us. You also get to come to the VIP premiere, and we give you the best houses in the cinema. The drinks are on the house that day for you guys, all you plus one guest. Um, there's also producer credits on all levels of a producer. I think you got associate producer, co-producer, producer, and then executive producer. And depending on obviously which perk you guys go for, your names will appear accordingly in the credits and on all the promotional material, uh, whether that be the DVD, on the posters, on the trailers, whatever. And then you've got just your very basic ones, which is like a thank you credit on IMDb, or you got a thank you credit in the movie, so you can have your name in the movie as well. So there's a few different perks, but you've got your very basic ones as well. And the basic ones being as just like the ones I've mentioned, but basic doesn't mean that I take any of that for granted. It just means thank you very much. I'm grateful for your contribution. But obviously, we're trying to hit a level of budget here. So like your $1, although it's super grateful that you've given it, I can't make you an executive producer on the project. So, and I'm sure people will understand that. Um, so again, like I said, I'm not asking for a shit ton of money. Like, and again, like I don't want to say like I'm asking for it, but the project is asking for it. Right? The project is not asking for a lot of money. It's very small again because I pulled in a lot of favors. I have a lot of friends in this industry that are gonna help me out, are willing to help me out because they trust the process and they trust me more importantly that I'm gonna make a great movie, something that they can have on their resume to say we worked on a movie called The Contract in 2024, and it was a great fucking movie. And also with the actors and things, even to someone that's not contributed to any campaign before or any movie or invested into some movie, this can be like a great entry level for someone to maybe one day think about, look, we want to put like 100 grand into a movie one day, right? You can start off by just giving me $1 and seeing where it goes, right? So it's not anything major that I'm asking for. Again, I said multiple times before, for me, I'm not here for the money. I'm just here to pay all of my friends so that they can work and we can make a kick-ass movie together.
Awesome. All right. We're gonna wrap it up soon. So final word here. Finish this sentence for the audience that's watching and for anybody that's thinking about contributing to the Indiegogo. The Contract is a film that's going to.
The Contract is a film that is going to put you to sleep because it's going to be a boring shit movie. Um, no, I'm joking, guys. The Contract is simple. Look, I'm just trying to make a high-octane action movie that is going to amaze everyone that's going to watch it, whether you contribute to the movie in a financial aspect or whether you just share the link or just a fan of action cinema in general. It's going to be something for everybody. It's got a great story. It's got great action. It's got great visuals. And I know for a fact, because I'm working with someone great right now, it's going to have a killer fucking soundtrack. So for anybody that's going to be invested into this project in whatever capacity you may be, there's going to be something in there for everybody. Now, my brother said that the link is circulating in the chat somewhere. So if you guys are on it right now, or when you do have a moment, please do click the link. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see a whole list of perks available. I think I put way too many perks for my own good, but they're there for you all to pick and choose from what you want. And if you're not on a desktop computer, it will be somewhere on the bottom of the screen on your phone. So just swipe left. Not like Tinder, but you swipe left through the perks and you can have a look at what is available. And I'm sure there'll be something in there for everybody. And if you don't want to have any of the perks and the contribution prices are too high, feel free to make a one that suits you. Like I say, if you want to put in $1, $2, whatever works for you guys, right? It's gonna go to the project anyway. So again, and I can almost certainly guarantee you this movie is gonna be on some major streaming platforms. I have very good connection and relationship with Tubi right now. And I know everybody likes to watch free stuff online. So Tubi is free for anybody that wants to watch stuff. So you can watch the movie on there, and it'll be on a bunch of other platforms as well. 2 or 3 that I'm working very closely with right now, but I would let them know closer into the campaign. But there's some very good ones that we're working with as well. But Tubi is a guarantee, that's for sure. So get involved, guys, and peace. Yeah, I don't know.
Fantastic.
That was weird. The ending was weird, man. The ending was weird.
Ranjeet, thank you so much for taking some time to chat today. Best of luck with The Contract. I love the passion. I love the hype that you have surrounding this. We've talked to a couple of the producers on the film. They've got high hopes and optimism for the project. So Best of luck with all of that. Hopefully, we will see it sooner rather than later. And Ranjit, man, I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, dude, for having me on the show, and to thank you to all of your fans that have gracefully joined to watch my ugly face. I appreciate it, guys, and I hope that you're having an amazing day right now. I don't know what the time is in the States. I think it's super early, but hope that you guys are having a great day. Have a continued great day. Stay positive, and hopefully together we can make a kick-ass action movie together. And thank you to my brother Kung Fu Driving for having me on the podcast. And if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, click the bell icon, and watch out for any latest updates that he has.
Awesome. All right, Ranjit, stay right there. So that link again to the Indiegogo campaign is right there at the bottom of the screen. It will be available in all the show notes. So click, find some a perk that interests you, or just contribute to help Ranjit get the contract made. But Ranjit, again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys.